Hello Taurus, hello and welcome into your general tarot card reading for the second half of February. Because this fourth week is such a short week, I just combined those two. So I will be covering the 16th to the 28th of Feb. And Taurus, you have a very interesting cards over here. You have the Judgment, you have a Two of Wands, you have a Four of Wands, and this fourth card is a rune, serves as additional commentary, and is telling you that everything is available to you. And Taurus, I think that's going to be a very interesting week, because you might be torn between two different things. There might be two different callings, there might be two different things. For one, it's kind of, and it's not to say those two that are standing in stark opposite of each other, but there will be two different, it's all going to be about decision making, and it's all about what you're going to deem as more important or more where you're, it's, when I hear this choice, it's not about the importance, it's almost like it's something to do with the values. But let me do the deep dive here, so you're going to have a better understanding on what I'm trying to convey. Because you see the figure in Two of Wands, I see you, this figure as you, Taurus. And he's holding the world and he's looking towards the Judgment. And Judgment basically stands for a couple of things. Judgment stands for literal judgment. It's all about decision making. Judgment is to wait to hear about the decision, and it's almost like a payoff time. So whatever decision we made, what goes around comes around, sort of thing. In kind of more, you can say to a certain degree that Judgment is representing this idea of karma fulfilled, work well done. It's also because you have an Archangel Gabriel over here with this golden I just forgot the name for it, thingy bobby, it will come back to me in a minute. It's talking about talking about the news coming, it's talking about awakening, being called upon, because those people that are raising from the graves, they're raising to new phase in their life. Because Judgment also, it's all about closing the phase in your life. It's all about coming to the terms of with certain things, wrapping up, and moving on. And because of that, quite often is associated with healing and good news and resurrection over here, Taurus. So in that respect, and the Judgment, it speaks of, it's connected to the number 2, because it's 20 is 10 plus 10 give us 2. So this is what, once again, about choices over here. And so when it comes to the Judgment, it's kind of resonating with those Two of Wands, because it speaks of time in which Taurus actions and decisions has to be taken, and decisions, they have to be made. Also, it speaks about, when it comes to those decisions and those choices, it speaks of final stage of completion. And when we mean completion in tarot, quite often we use this terms of transformation and purification. And behind those two, what they mean learning process. That's why we say karma fulfilled, because this learning process, because we learn through experience, and most likely we don't learn because we are enormously happy. Usually we learn because we're experiencing something that not always is easy. Sometimes it's very challenging, might be very painful on the level of our human existence when it comes to our emotions, our physical pain, so on and so forth. So because of that, it's talking about learning a lesson and coming to the terms with the lesson in order to move on. So that's why it's talking about the choices, purification, transformation. And therefore, we're kind of arriving at that point of the final resolution and completion of karmic cycle, because that's kind of where the cycle comes to the end, when the lesson being learned, basically. So this is about taking next steps based off what you have learned and being able to make those decisions, better decisions. This is about making the better decisions. The overall meaning over here and kind of messages about taking the better decision. And because you have this empty rune over here. So the judgment is talking about the karmic cycle. It's talking about paying your dues, being free of your obligations. And because you have this empty rune over here, what you have, Taurus, this is saying everything is available to you in the meaning of you free of that burden. You will be either you freeing yourself or you will be free from that obligation pretty soon. So the choice, the ball, meaning the world that your hand are holding in the two of wands is in your corner. And what the life is showing you in terms of Four of Wands over here, this is representing a threshold. This is representing things that can be, which might be available. And this is representing twofold kind of things. Because those two figures, they're waving at you and saying, hi, hello Taurus, welcome. We have been expecting you. So something is opening, door is opening. Behind them there are more people, so that might be indication of social event or some kind of gathering. This might be also indication of some kind of group, organization. And there's a castle behind those two figures that is representing stability, something that is extremely solid. And there is a grove, the green grove, and the bridge on the right-hand side. And this is talking about overcoming difficulties. And it's also talking about the spiritual, but also material, personal growth. So this is available to you. And that's what the Two of Cups, I cannot even say it. Two of Wands and Four of Wands they're talking about. It's all also with those Two of Wands over here, because you kind of looking towards the Judgment. Judgment is also talking about finding your own purpose. And with that choice, all of a sudden you're going to understand your own purpose. And because of that, this is going to show this kind of also a healing process that you're going to go through. And sometimes with judgment in it can represent sometimes rather the healing process might be to do with something that was extremely challenging, the situation that was requiring endurance of inherent pain whilst going through the process, and this is all about to help you to emerge reborn and renewed and wiser, and this wiseness, you being wise, comes from the experience. And that's what this is kind of standing for, this judgment over here. For some of you, because of that, you're going to change the perspective, and you're going to have, you're going to receive, or you're going to be in a state of higher consciousness, of kind of spiritual enlightenment and awakening. So that's going to change your point of view. Absolute point of view. And let me come back to the aspect of Pluto, because it's just popped into my mind. with the Pluto, quite often Pluto is also standing for being destroyer and rebuilder at the same time. So with that judgment and people rising from the graves, it's kind of representing this aspect of Pluto where things that have been hidden and submerged in your subconscious self going to arise as well. And that's what just came through. It's just this going to be arising, and this is very strong and powerful. And once again, it's something about the healing process that is coming through very strongly. This is extremely strong message for you about this choice, making the wiser, better choices based on your life experience, basically over here. And let me just quickly dive into those Two of Wands, so you're going to have a better understanding, because this judgment is like a main thing in this reading for you. The two that just merely the narrative to it, they're there, but actually they're like not that they're here to just kind of add to it, that they're not to convey the message for themselves. So if I were to say what the Two of Wands is going to kind of represent for you, it's once again, it's about the choices, and the choices to do with our goals, desires, it's our drives. Sometimes they are those Two of Wands, they're going to speak about our freedom, but also they're going to talk about plans, sometimes also about reunions. Sometimes when we're talking about reunion with people, ideas, places, they're going to come together once again. So that's what's coming here, Taurus as well. Number 2, once again, it stands for choices. Basically, it stands for choices and decisions. And that is a time of choice and decision once again. So sometimes with those Two of Wands, you might have that kind of feeling that your freedom has been restricted. But what came through, and that is very interesting, that even though you might have that kind of feeling, this is done in order to control your own destiny. So that's going to be enables you to kind of emotionally, that restrictions, it's to give you this kind of time to make that decision, to help you with make those choices. But there is another thing, because you see the Judgment and Four of Wands, they are, even though Four of Wands is far much weaker card, there's some kind of decision-making process over here. And what I'm hearing is this: you should not allow yourself to be drawn into something that is against your will. And what the message is show your strength or you might regret it. And that is the overall message for you, Taurus. That's what just came through. This message, I think, is abundantly clear, and I'm going to kind of end the reading here because that's what I'm told to do. So thank you, Taurus, for tuning, and speak to you next time. Until the next time, bye for now. If this reading has resonated with you, please like, comment and subscribe to my channel. If you would like to book a private reading with me, please feel free to go to my website www.tarotwithmishka.co.uk, or alternatively you can email me at mishka@tarotwithmishka.co.uk. If you'd like to find me on Facebook, just simply type in Tarot with Mishka. I would like to say a massive thank you for tuning in, and bye for now.